Hello friends, today we will see the elements of the generalized measurement system. So starting with the measured medium. So medium is very essential and very important thing, whether we want to refer the solid or the liquid or the gaseous medium as such. So for example, sometimes the temperature of the fluid can be sensed, or temperature of the solid body can be sensed, or the temperature of the air can be sensed. So depending upon the medium, you are supposed to take the appropriate call. Now as far as measured quantity is concerned, first it is normally sensed by means of primary sensing element. Now the primary sensing element is nothing but the sensor over here, which will take the input from the measurand, and the quantity is sensed initially, and the initial input is sensed and transmitted by means of primary sensing element. So depending upon the nature of the quantity which is to be measured, we are supposed to select the appropriate type of the primary sensing element, that is sensor. Next one is nothing but the various conversion element, wherein we are supposed to convert the sensed signal into appropriate form. Now initially maybe the form or the signal may be in the digital form, which can be converted into the analog, or analog form can be converted into the digital form. So depending upon the need of your measurement system, one has to take the appropriate call. So ADC and DAC means analog to digital converter or digital to analog converter are the examples of the variable conversion elements. Next one is nothing but the variable manipulation elements. So here the thing is that we are supposed to sometimes improve the strength of the signal. So for that we are supposed to have the filtration process. So different electronic filters can be implemented, and the noises which are called as errors, that can be eliminated from the signals, and we can get the pure signal. So filtration may be the process, or the filters comes under the variable manipulation element. Simultaneously we can have the amplifiers or the de-amplifiers. So depending upon the strength of the signal or what we want to manipulate, so depending upon that we are supposed to implement the de-amplifiers or the amplifiers as per the need. So all these processes comes under the variable manipulation elements, and different commercial instruments are available, your de-amplifiers or the amplifiers or the filtrations kind of elements, so that can be implemented as and when needed. Afterwards, data transmission elements. Now this is something which transmits the data or the signal which has been sensed, okay, incoming signal which is transmitted down the line. So data transmission element is very important element, but the thing is that it should not change the quantity of the or the magnitude of the signal or the form of the signal. That is a very important thing related to the data transmission element. So maybe data transmitted for a long distance, or it may be short in nature, short distances. So for that we are supposed to use this particular data transmission elements. Next one is nothing but the data storage or playback element. So when we talk about the large plants, obviously we can have the number of incoming signals inputs from the various locations or your sub units of the subsystems as such. In that particular case, you are supposed to have your signal 1, signal 2, signal 3 and so on. So obviously it should be stored at certain locations for the certain time period. So that is done under this particular data storage, and we can recollect the signals afterwards in order to get the cumulative signal. So here data storage stores the signal for the time being or the permanently, depending upon the storage nature, and it can be forwarded to the main unit afterwards. Next one is data presentation elements. This is nothing but your digital screen or the analog screen, wherein you can see the output signal, final output signal, that can be represented by means of data presentation element. Now by means of data presentation element, observer will refer the output signal, and he can take the feedback, he can give that feedback, and he can analyze that particular output signal. Control systems normally control the transmission of the data, or the processing of the data, processing of the input signals in a logical manner, and it controls how the data can be transmitted, how the data can be processed, or how the input signal can be analyzed. So all these particular roles and responsibilities will be played by this particular control system. So depending upon the nature of the measurement unit or measurement system, you can have your own control system or customized control system. Now, input output configuration of the instruments and the measurement system. Normally, as far as inputs are concerned, three types of inputs are there. Desired inputs, you can see into the slide. So quantities that the instrument is specifically intended to measure. So desired inputs, okay, this is the input which we want, and against that we will be getting the desired output. Interfering inputs, so quantities to which the instrument is unintentionally sensitive. So your measurement system will be sensitive to the quantities against which it is sensitive. So it will be capturing those inputs also which is unwanted. So these are called as interfering inputs as such. And third one is nothing but the modifying input. So these are the quantities that cause a change in the input output relationship for the desired and interfering input. So these are the signals, these are the inputs which balances this desired inputs and the interfering inputs in such a manner that there will be a perfect input output relationship for the desired and the interfering inputs. So these are the overview of the types of the inputs that are normally considered: desired input, interfering inputs, and the modifying inputs. Now the errors. So errors in the measurement of a physical quantity is its deviation from the actual value. So all we know the definition of the error. So first one is nothing but the gross errors. This category of the errors include all the human mistakes which while reading, recording, and the mistakes those are related to the calculating kind of thing, and against which we are getting the different output. So obviously, suppose we are taking the reading as 21 and we are recording that as 31. So obviously this is kind of error which comes under the gross errors. So as far as gross errors are concerned, one should be very careful while taking, recording, and reading the values against the experimentation. And when we take care, and whenever we are taking the number of times reading repetitively, so there may be the chances to take care of these gross errors. So we can have the averaging methods, and by means of which we can come close to the true value, and we can reduce the gross errors. Instrumental errors, so these are due to the faulty instruments. Sometimes maybe due to the hysteresis, maybe due to the wear and tear. Many things happens, and spring back effects, maybe backlash errors, and many other errors that comes under the due to the instruments, and these are termed as the instrumental errors. So obviously only way to repair the instruments to go for the calibrations, and whenever it is calibrated or the calibration is done with respect to the instruments or the measuring instruments or measurement system as such, obviously this particular instrumental errors can be eliminated or can be avoided. Environmental errors, it may be due to the environmental factors such as temperature, pressures, humidity, or maybe strong magnetic field or electromagnetic field as such. So we are supposed to keep the distance in between the two instruments so that there will not be any kind of effect related to the magnetic fields or the electrical field. That is one part. As far as your high pressures or the temperature or the humidity is concerned, one has to take care related to the instruments, and your measuring instruments or the measurement system should be protected from that particular conditions. Maybe you can have your own control lab, wherein the controlled under the controlled conditions we can go for the experimentation and we can take the readings with the great efficiency. So we are supposed to have that particular environmental factors that should be considered well in advance, and we are supposed to take care when we are carrying out the experimentation under the controlled conditions in a secured lab. In that particular conditions, under that particular environment, we can eliminate the environmental errors as such. Now the observational errors. So parallax error is the type of the or the example of the observational errors wherein there will be the parallax. So whenever there will be the pointer and dial type of arrangement, and whenever we are not coming over the pointer, and whenever there will be the we are taking the reading or the observing the reading from the slightly right hand side or the left hand side, there will be the chances to have the parallax error. So obviously you are supposed to come parallel, okay, over the pointer, and whenever we are taking the reading in that particular fashion, there will be the elimination of the parallax error. So parallax error is the best example of the observational errors. So one should know the method, accurate method to take the readings, and when we are taking the reading with great care and systematically with appropriate method, there will be a chances to eliminate this particular observational errors. Random errors. So these errors coming at any point of time, and the predictions are quite difficult. So it may be due to the instruments, it may be due to the environmental factors or some other things or hidden things that cannot be predicted easily. So we cannot eliminate these particular random errors completely, but we can reduce it as far as possible. So each and every reason for these particular reasons, random errors cannot be analyzed, cannot be predicted. So that's why these errors are difficult to avoid. So as a draft, after calculating or systematic errors, it is found that there are still some errors in measurements are left. These errors are known as random errors. Some of the reasons of the appearance of these errors are known, but still some reasons are unknown. Hence 100% causes related to the errors cannot be predicted accurately. So this kind of errors can generate at any point of time, and these particular errors cannot be eliminated completely. So we have seen the elements of the generalized measurement system and different types of errors. So thank you very much for the patient listening, and you can send your feedback on this particular video or any queries related to this. Thank you very much.